Hey, welcome back. My name is Dino. This video is on the visual nature of social media, and more specifically a discussion of symbolic speech. This flag here is pretty symbolic. It deals with the impact of symbolic speech online because it's being used more and more each day. And as you'll see, as I show you a couple of examples from the political sphere. Tinker. For those of you who know free speech and its jurisprudence, you'll know Tinker. It's a classic freedom of speech case from the late '60s, and it's about these kids who were protesting the Vietnam War and wore these armbands. What type of speech is an armband? You might have had a tip from the title of this video. It is symbolic speech. Why is this type of speech important, especially today? There's a great deal of symbolic speech, especially online. They're popular examples. Can you think of any popular examples of political symbolic speech? Think for a moment, and I'll show you some symbols. This one you might know is when, and again, I'm not pushing a political agenda. It's just an example. This is an example of when President Donald Trump was in the impeachment processes. This was a number of memes that were done to show him. And it's about the idea of him potentially being impeached. And they are symbolic. They help to communicate this idea of impeachment through the vehicle of a peach. Here are some other ones. And again, whether you like Trump or not, it doesn't really matter each way. He has a very outsized image in the public imagination, even before he was president. A lot of it is about his strength and a number of these memes. I believe this one deals with the idea of swole Trump and about him being a strong leader. And so a number of these interesting memes popped up. Here are some really interesting examples of symbolic political speech. In the upper left-hand corner, we'll be talking about this a little bit later in this video. It's Trump at the White House, and he had the Clemson football team in for fast food, as you see there, where he mixes various different types of symbols. On the upper right, he's embracing a flag. In the middle right, it's this confrontation between a high school student and an Indigenous American, and how, because the student wore a red MAGA hat, how that whole controversy ended up being controversy mainly about two people seeing each other, looking a little bit aggressive towards each other, but it really wasn't much of a story. And the bottom right was an example of some symbolic speech where a number of people, during a State of the Union, a number of the women lawmakers were wearing white as a symbol for female power. And on the lower left is a example from I think it was a Senate hearing with Michael Cohen. It was an example of some claims about him lying, and you see the sort of liar, pants on fire. You see the fiery image behind him. The great designer from Pentagram, Michael Barut, talks in a video about the idea of symbols and symbols as being empty vessels. He actually worked on the Hillary Clinton campaign, which is the image on the right in the middle. That's the Hillary symbol for her campaign. And he would say that the reason symbols are powerful is that you can pour the meaning into them. And you get very strong motions from symbols. Say, for example, probably the strongest is the MAGA hat on the lower left, where this simple hat, just basically a baseball hat with a specific strong red and some white text, can cause very strong positive and strong negative emotions. Again, it doesn't matter if you like or dislike Trump, but he evokes some very strong emotions. I'm going to provide you a quick framework from semiotics for understanding the meaning of signs. One is denotation. That's a sign's most commonly accepted meaning. So if you see a sign, the thing that you see in it, and the one that's most commonly accepted, that is the denotation. In complement to that, there's this idea of connotation. It's secondary associations based on an individual's personal experience. So depending on your personal experience, you may have multiple connotations while only one denotation that's shared broadly. And again, I'll get into a little bit more of that in a moment. And so why are these important? Most signs have an accepted meaning or meanings. That's the denotation, but they can have many, many more associations, connotations. And because signs, like say the American flag, it's obviously visual, but because it's so visual and it's not like text where the meaning is pretty literal within the text for the most part, the meanings associated with a symbol like a flag in symbolic speech can change, and they can change over time. I'll go into more of the details about the denotation and connotation. On the left, the red baseball cap is basically a red baseball cap. That's all it is. It's a hat that's a general, commonly accepted meaning, just a red baseball hat. A little bit stronger associated meaning is that it's a Trump mega hat. Again, that's what most people would see it as. The connotations would vary depending on the viewer and the personal experience. For example, and I won't go into the actual associations, but a Trump supporter would have very positive associations with that hat. Someone against Trump would have very negative. So you can have the same object, the hat, very different views. On the lower right, again, one of the interesting things for this is that you have a person like Trump who commands both high and low status meanings. The high status, the power tie, the power suit. He's in the Oval Office, or he's in the White House. High status, but the low status is the fast food that he has around him. So he can successfully combine both positive and negative valences to the emotions and meanings he has. That was the visual nature of social media. My name is Dino. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to like this video. Please feel free to comment on it, on the tinker, the various symbols used, etc., denotations versus connotations. And finally, if you like this type of video, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. As always, thanks for watching.